Like all the rest of the members, I welcome the attention behind this bill presented to us here today. The loss of a baby at any stage is a devastating blow to any family, and something which the mother in particular will feel very deeply, having carried the child. In many instances, the loss of these children is something which is mourned privately. For those of us who have a faith in Christ, we have the consolation expressed in 2 Samuel 12, when on the loss of his infant son, David said, "I shall go to him." Even then, however, the experience is a sad one, as David immediately followed that statement by saying, "But he shall not return to me." It is therefore right that for parents who wish to have them, that we make provision for the issuing of certificates recognising the loss of a baby. I commend those who have campaigned to get us to this point. I do, however, want to make some observations about the bill and the language which it employs. The title in the bill before us today is Deaths, Stillbirths and Baby Loss Bill. Throughout the bill, the word baby is used. A baby is never in this bill referred to as anything else. It's never, for example, referred to by the cold term fetus, and nor should it be. I put it to this House that the language in the title of this bill and its clauses is an acknowledgement of the personhood of the unborn children who tragically never get a chance to live outside the womb. It acknowledges their value. It acknowledges their potential to have brought love and joy into the world. It acknowledges their potential to have contributed to society, to have grown up to become a great leader, a great writer, or a great scientist. It acknowledges that while they may not have become any of those things, they would still have been loved as a daughter, as a sister, as a wife, as a mother, as a son, as a brother, as a father. The fact that this bill acknowledges all of those things is right, just, and good. But, and here we come to the uncomfortable truth contained within the bill, if all those things are true of the child who sadly is stillborn, they are equally true of the 8,093 babies which have been aborted since our abortion laws were changed. Yep, go on ahead.
The member for taking an intervention, and I think that it is true to say that anybody will be able to access the new certificate, and I think that if you are about, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, it never should be the case that one mother's pain should be pitted against another mother's pain to prove a point. So I'm going to ask the member, please do not do that.
I thank the member for her intervention, and I feel a moral duty on me that during this to speak out for the life of the unborn. I am pro-life, and I will be taking this opportunity in brief remarks to point out some of them points. Deputy Speaker, I'd remind this House that the floodgates on that tidal wave of the slaughter of the innocent only opened because of the Executive Information Act, a piece of legislation which brought us to evolution for 2 years. Happy to give way to Mr Free.
The member for giving way, because he does raise a valid point. So before the law was changed on abortion here, you could get an abortion if the mother's life was in danger. So there will still be scenarios where that takes place and where abortion has to be performed. It would be right and proper that those families would be able to avail of a baby loss certificate in that regard.
Stuart Gaston, before you continue, to make it clear to you and to anyone else who may be thinking of intervening, this is not a debate on abortion, and it's not going to become one. It's a respectful debate. Some very poignant examples have been quoted by members of the House today. The rest of the debate will continue in the same vein, and it won't divert to another issue.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Continuing on with my remarks, and while I regret the fact that this bill isn't wider and will not even, I believe, provide scope for amendments which would address the issues and the threat to the unborn babies, I do welcome the fact that it does address an important issue. But I must say, shame on those who brought us back to Stormont and the price that certainly wasn't worth paying for these institutions was the installation of the Executive Formation Act. But in closing, Mr. Speaker, I want to welcome the fact that in supporting it, members across this House today will, whether they care to acknowledge it or not, by the very fact and act of voting in favour of this legislation, they will be accepting the central tenet of the pro-life argument. An unborn baby is just that, an unborn baby.